Hi guys, it's Vanessa. I'm here today to do a review on Bdellium Tools. Now, before I start, a little background on what they are. Bdellium Tools is a brush company. They specialize in making antibacterial professional makeup brushes. So what that means is that their brushes, they kind of put a treatment on the bristles that makes the brush antibacterial, which means that it's going to help keep bacteria at bay a little longer than your traditional makeup brush would. Now, that said, that does not mean that you should not clean these brushes. These brushes still need to be cleaned regularly. This is just kind of helping you, that little extra step in staying a little more hygienic with your brushes. The brushes come in 4 separate lines. I like to say 3.5, but we'll say 4 because they count them as 4 separate lines. They have their Studio line, the Maestro line, the Green Bamboo, and their Travel line. So I have brushes from the Studio, Maestro, and Green line that I purchased at America's Beauty Show to show you today. So we'll get started and talk about them. So the first line is the Studio line, and their Studio line brushes look like this. They have a yellow lacquered handle. They say the company's name and the brush number on them. And on the back, it has the logo of the company, very tiny, on the brush, and the logo will be a different color depending the type of brush you have. So all the face brushes have a blue logo on the background, all the eye brushes have yellow, and I'm not sure what color the lip brushes are because I don't own a lip brush, but they are all color coded, so I really do like that. Their brushes are, I think for the most part, synthetic and natural mix. Some are synthetic natural mix in the brush. I think some are all natural, some are all synthetic, so on and so forth. Yes, so this is the Studio line. This is the first brush I have. It's the 990. It's their angled face brush, and they recommend this for use. Oh, I'm sorry. I should talk about this. The brushes come in a case like this when you purchase them, and it will come in a clear thing. The brush comes in here. And then this tells you the brush name and number, and on the back it tells you a quick description of what the brush is good for. I'm not going to go by these today. I just wanted to show you what they come in because I thought that's pretty cool. If you're starting out, you already know what your brush is good for. So I'm just going to tell you the brushes I have and what I use them for. So again, this is the 990 in the Studio line, and it's like a big angled face brush. This brush, I use it for my bronzer. I do E's and 3's on my face with it. It's really good for just a light, quick powder all over the face. If you've over powdered your face, this is really good to just kind of whisk it off because it's almost like a broom, because this angle is really like wispy. It's also really good for fallout. You just kind of whisk it away as well. I personally really love this brush. It's super soft. I've washed it. There was no bleeding, no shedding, no misshapenness. A really great brush. I really recommend it. Also, all the brushes are very lightweight but very sturdy feeling and very professional looking, and nothing about this, doesn't say like this is a good quality brush. They just feel like good quality brushes, and they're very affordable. So yes, so I really like that brush. The other brush that I have from the Studio line is the 958, and this is it's like a rounded powder brush, and it's like a nice big, it's dual fiber. This one has natural and synthetic hair mix. I really love this brush for all over face powder, is what I mainly use it for, and I love it for that. You could also just use it like after you've done your makeup, just to ensure that it's all blended. Just go over it with the brush. I also spray my Fix Plus on this and just rub it on my face to get that nice airbrush glow at the end of it. I purchased this brush kind of to do what I wanted the Sigma Round Top F82 Kabuki brush to do. They're not the same brush, so they're not very comparable. This one is smaller and denser. This one is bigger and fluffier. But this one does what I wanted this one to do for powder brushes. Since this one is so small and dense, it really like manipulates your face too much. There's too much stress on the face, and this one, it just stays nice, and I love this brush. So this one also gets a thumbs up. And then the last brush I have from the Studio line is their 953, and it's like a duo fiber flat top brush. I use this brush for my foundation, for my cream bronzer or blush, or for blushes that are a little highly pigmented. But it works really good for foundation because of the duo fibers. It gives you that soft focus. Since it's a smaller, more compact brush, it forces you to focus on, you know, smaller parts of your face and really blend them out before you move on to the next, so you get a really nice flawless finish. Works great with cream products as well, and since it's small, it's really good to get in the contour area or the highlights. Really, really like this brush, and it is a sort of dupe for the MAC 180 brush. Is this? MAC 130 brush. They're very different. The MAC, or not very different, but the MAC one, the white hairs are more concentrated in the middle, and this one is kind of spread out, even out. The hairs are longer on the Bdellium Tools one, so the whole brush moves, whereas this one, the top one tends to move, and the white hairs only do all the work. So, but if you're looking for this one and you don't want to spend the money, I definitely recommend the Bdellium Tools one. The next brushes I have from them are from their Maestro line. So the Maestro line has the more traditional looking kind of black handle, silver ferrule look to them. If you like the look of a MAC brush, you are going to like the Maestro line. If you like the look of Makeup Forever yellow handled brushes, you're going to like the Bdellium Tools line, or the Studio line. But back to the Maestro. The first brush I have is the 710. And this is a eyeliner brush. It's just a really nice fine point brush, but it's very thick at the same time. If you just use the point, you can make a really nice skinny line, or you could just lay it on the brush and just make a big thick line. This really helps to make like dramatic winged liner. With a little bit of practice, it makes the liner really easy. So I really like this brush. And the other one is very dirty. I'm sorry I used it today, but this is the 776, and it is very similar to MAC's 217 brush. It's one of those brushes where it's a tapered brush, so it's good for blending, but it's also got like kind of a belly where it's a little bit fatter on one side, so that's really good for patting on shadows, and it's good for cream products and what have you. And I have my 217 here so you can see. Now when I washed this dirty 217, I used a brush guard, and on this one I didn't, so it splayed a little bit more. But all in all, it is very similar to the 217. So those are the ones from the Maestro line. And then the last line I have is from their Green Bamboo line. And the brush I have from there is the 787 brush. Now the Green Bamboo line is their eco-friendly line that they just launched. It's pretty awesome. Basically, the handle you can see is green, and it's made out of bamboo. The bristles are 100% synthetic and vegan. And as I said earlier, this is an antibacterial brush company. However, with the 787 brush, they did not treat these with, or not the 787, but the Green Bamboo line, they did not treat these with the antibacterial treatment as to keep them eco-friendly. They also come packaged slightly different. They come in a recycled paper insert, but it's all still the same. It still tells you about your brush and whatever. Now the reason I bought this brush is it totally caught my eye because if you can see the shape of it, it is a full-on dupe for the MAC 225, which is a discontinued, very sought-after MAC brush. And it's great. It's basically a bigger version of the 226, and it works phenomenally. I use mine mainly for cheek highlight, but I also use it for setting my concealer under my eyes, also for blending in foundation or concealer in problem areas or around my nose. Also really good for concentrated powder in the T-zone. If you have been looking for the MAC 225, definitely pick this up over any other of the dupes. I know people have suggested the Inglot dupe, but that one is like a 20, I think the Inglot is like a 20-something, 30-something dollar brush, and this one is far cheaper. So I definitely recommend this brush, and I also recommend this line. I'm interested to get more brushes from this line. Oh, and this brush is dirty on the top, but the green is like that. The brushes all have this kind of green tinge in the Green Bamboo line. So those are the only ones I have, and I did say that they have a fourth line, which is the Travel line, and I believe it comes in both the Studio and Maestro look. I'm not sure. I know for sure it comes in the Studio, but it's basically the same brush, only the handle's about this big. So it's like, you know, most of the brush is gone, and this would be the size of your brush. But that's really the only other difference. The brushes are still antibacterial. They're still handmade. They're the exact same top of the brush, only on a shorter handle. So that is the difference between that line. So overall, I love this, like love these brushes. The fact that they're all dirty is actually a testament of that I love them, because I washed them yesterday in order to do the review, but I did my makeup today and I couldn't bear to do my makeup without them, so I just dirtied them all over again. But they're phenomenal brushes. Things I like about the brush is that they're very lightweight, but they feel very sturdy. You never feel like this brush is going to fall apart on you. A lot of brushes, like I've purchased brushes from Crown and Sigma and even MAC, where the ferrule right away feels loose, or after a couple uses it feels loose. And these, I really feel like I would have to like break them in half for them to break. They don't feel loose at all. The bristles, the hairs don't shed. I've had the most minimal shedding ever with these. So I just love them. I love that they're mostly synthetic. And I like that they're synthetic natural mix on a lot of their brushes as well. I like that they have the 3 different lines because it caters to, oh, that's not one of their brushes. I like that it has the 3 different lines because it caters to different styles and different preferences that people have in their makeup brushes. So I really like that as well. Their sets are very intuitive. They have makeup sets. They don't have a lot of filler brushes you're not going to use. If you buy one of their sets, like all the brushes you will eventually use, and they're very affordable. That's another reason I love this company. Very, 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 very affordable. They're currently online only, but you can find them at a lot of the trade shows for an even cheaper price, which is insane to me. The cons I have with this brush are that these 2 brushes, when I washed them, I experienced some bleeding. On this brush, the black dye bled actually a lot, and that was very disappointing for me. This one, the bleeding was very minimal. But I was bummed to see that the brushes bled. I washed them with Dawn soap, which I don't think is too harsh, but they do recommend using like a gentle shampoo or a gentle cleanser for these brushes as to preserve the antibacterial agents that they put on the brush. So yeah, the bleeding I was very disappointed with. Another con for me with the Bdellium tools is that the only place you can buy them is on their Amazon.com shop. This is more of a personal preference, but I don't like shopping on Amazon.com. I don't think it's very like user-friendly or intuitive. The way that the options are displayed are kind of like all mishmashed together. I just don't like the way that website is set up for shopping, and I really hope that they can figure out a way to get a cart on the bdelliumtools.com site, because the way that they display the product is so exactly the way that I want to shop for the product. Like it tells you, you know, what line do you want to go, what type of face product do you want to use, whatever. So it's just a much more pleasant experience. And the Amazon.com website, I just don't like shopping on Amazon.com. So that's another con for me. The pros, like I said, is that they're just really sturdy, really lightweight, really great, antibacterial, softest brushes you've ever felt. Super affordable and much better quality, in my opinion, of other affordable brushes that are out there that you guys have probably heard of on YouTube. So yeah, and another final note that I wanted to say, this is not a pro or a con, but more a hopeful recommendation for Bdellium Tools if they are watching this, is I really think that they should come out with a brush cleaner, because that would just make my life so much easier, and I think it just makes sense. Since they do make antibacterial brushes, it would make sense for them to make a cleaner that is compatible with their brushes, that would help the antibacterial treatment, if you will, be preserved longer on the brush, because I think that is the downfall of using these brushes, is I constantly feel like I'm wasting, for lack of a better word, the like antibacterial treatment on them with the brush cleaners I use. And I would totally trust a brush cleaner from them if the quality of these brushes are any indication of what that would be like. So yeah, that's about it. I will put a link down below on where you could get these brushes. Also, they'll be at a couple of trade shows, so I'll list those below, but that information is also available on their website, bdelliumtools.com. So check them out for very affordable, very amazing brushes that I can't live without now that I have them. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Bye.